Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome to Is It For You, the show that'll make or break your decision to buy a game. This week, we are diving into a newly released game, Final Fantasy Versus 13.
Wait, what do you mean that's not the name?
Well, it seems like the game has been rebranded as Final Fantasy 15. Sure, whatever floats your boat, Square. Final Fantasy 15 was first announced at E3 2006 as Final Fantasy Versus 13. It had 13 in the name as it was part of the Fabula Nova Crystallis, the series that contains the Final Fantasy 13 titles and Typo as well. However, after years of waiting and getting next to nothing aside from a trailer every 2 years, in E3 2013, Final Fantasy Versus 13 made a surprise appearance, and not only that, it was now called Final Fantasy 15. With this in mind, and the change of directors from Tetsuya Nomura to Hajime Tabata, this game isn't entirely what we first got to know, as lots of things were changed to accommodate the new title. The biggest change being the character Stella being completely removed in favor of Lunafreya. In the end of the day, we barely knew anything about what originally was planned, so we can't say how much, if anything, major was lost. Final Fantasy 15 was finally released worldwide on November 19, 2016, after a whole decade of being originally announced as Final Fantasy Versus 13. Also, before heading to the story, I would urge you to watch both Kingslave and Brotherhood before heading into this game, as those two will explain a lot of things that the main game won't. Our story begins with the protagonist Noctis, alongside his three best friends, Ignis, Gladiolus, and Prompto, bidding farewell to his father and king of Insomnia, Regis, as they are going on a trip. To where? Well, it turns out that Noctis is tying the knot with Lunafreya, a girl that is known since he was a kid. She is an important person, as not only she is the former princess of Tenebrae, as she is also the Oracle, and has the ability of communicating with the gods of Eos. Even though our boy here and Luna have feelings for each other, they are marrying mainly as part of a peace treaty of Insomnia and Niflheim, being the latter an empire on expansion and, as you probably guessed, already took control of Luna's land. I know, it looks really hard to understand, but do believe me that it's a lot easier by playing yourself and watching the already mentioned movie and anime. Things, however, take a sour turn of events as halfway through the boy's journey, they receive the news that Insomnia has fallen alongside the king. As it turns out, Niflheim never had the intention of signing a treaty and just wanted to attack the city from the inside. This is the start of a hard journey that Noctis and his best friends will have to endure. They will do everything in their hands to take the kingdom back to its rightful heir. Sadly, the story is short and does have a few head-scratching moments, but I don't feel like it's a deal-breaker. Also, I'd say that the biggest point this game has to offer aside from the gameplay is the relationship of these four friends. You will most likely grow attached to them and feel for them when things don't go as planned. I'd say that these character relations are really well explored and is one of the things that I love the most in this game. Well, moving on. Final Fantasy 15 is the first one in the franchise to completely remove the turn-based combat in favor of a real-time gameplay. You take exclusive control over Noctis, however his fighting style can be changed to suit your needs. He can use every weapon available in the game, and at all times you can have 4 assigned to the D-pad that can be changed freely. That way you can change from a small sword to a big one, to a katana, and even magic. All these attacks utilize the circle button to be used. The protagonist is also able to jump with the X button, evade and roll with the square, and triangle is one of the most amazing things ever. If you're using a sword or similar, Noctis can throw it to the enemy and instantly teleport himself to it, dealing damage and also reducing the distance to be able to attack again. With the R1 button, you will focus on an enemy, and the L1 button will open your friend's skills. Each can have one at a time, and pressing the D-pad will activate their current skill. The R2 button will open the items menu and will also pause the game so that you can choose calmly. Also from a certain point onwards, and once the circle around your weapons is full, you can press both the R1 and L1 buttons at the same time to bring forth the Arminger. This is Noctis' ultimate attack, in which he will warp around everywhere and attack with lots of different weapons. Also, sometimes during the game, some guest characters will join your party and they rock their own set of skills, in which in my opinion are really nice. Sadly, once you're done with those missions, they will resume their lives. Aside from Noctis, we also have his friends that will accompany you throughout the adventure. Ignis is the strategist and uses daggers to fight. Gladiolus is the always serious guy that has been charged as Noctis' bodyguard, and as such wields a big broadsword that will deal a lot of damage to the enemies. Prompto is, the comic relief? Well, he is one of Noctis' best friends after all, and uses a gun to fight. He's also always getting killed from my experience with the game. Every character also has different skills out of battle. Noctis loves fishing, and as such you can partake in that. Ignis will cook for you, and these foods give you different stat boosts. Gladiolus will pick up different items from everywhere, and Prompto will take selfies. Yeah, it's true. Also, after a certain quest, you'll be able to ride chocobos, and oh boy does it feel good in doing so. They'll take you faster to your destinations, unless these are kilometers away, and in that case, please use the car. They also can drift and be used in races to get various prizes. This game also has the Ascension, which is a system kinda similar to the Sphere Grid from Final Fantasy X that gives you various upgrades at the expensive AP. Also, leveling up here is quite interesting. You'll gain experience points from fighting like normal. However, those points only take effect when you go to sleep. This might seem like it's a bad thing, but it's not. Also, since it's very dangerous to walk around at night, I'd say it's a win-win situation. All in all, the game does have some minor problems with the camera during fights, as these can get pretty frantic and full of enemies. The music from this game is composed by my bae, Yoko Shimomura. Do I need to tell you anything else? The musics are so good, and apart from a few that might be a bit forgetful, all the battle musics and the ones that play in important moments are simply amazing. I can't simply tell you how much I love these, as they resonate with my own being. In the end of the day, you might be asking, is this game for me? Do you enjoy a story that will make you cry in the end? Hours upon hours of gameplay and side quests? A simply astonishing soundtrack? If so, this game is for you. It's like I read somewhere, this game is a masterpiece that sadly isn't finished, but I do believe that with the free updates and DLC that most of the problems, if not all, will be fixed. By the way, Iris best girl. And so another episode comes to an end. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did not forget to rate, comment and subscribe as it really helps a ton. And with this said, I bid you all farewell. Bye bye.